Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a Saturday Talking Town. It's at 2 o'clock. It is live, and we are here to dissect, digest, and further react to last night's exhilarating, exciting, adrenaline-pumping 1-0 win over Derby. I've got some comments from the manager. Going to grab the comments of the two hard truth boys as well. But more importantly than all of that, we want to hear this afternoon even, from you all at home. There is a live chat and there's also a live link to get involved. We'll be keeping an eye on Sheffield Wednesday, who are half-time or 1-0 up away to Lincoln. Come on, Lincoln, sort yourselves out. Where was this performance last week? But we'll try and get you up to date with that one, and we'll run through everything else as we go. The live chat is there for you to get involved, have your say in your own words. And if you want to take that step further, you just need a microphone. A webcam, is preferred, obviously, to see you as well as hear you. But we can accommodate people with just microphones. So any phone has them. Well, most phones have a microphone these days. Just get involved. Click the link when it comes into the chat and have your say. Adrian Garrett says, relaxing day. Got our 3 points. Just see what the others can do. I didn't realise that I must have shouted last night. And I was quite animated in the cobble stand. It is the cobble stand. So when I say animated, I mean, I was blinking. But anyway, I must have gone a little bit OTT with the shouting, because I seem to have woken up today with a frog in my throat. Carl Brooks' afternoon shaggers. Colin Plum, I actually enjoyed it in Sir Av Ramsey. Good view. Gino, welcome in. Mike Baker, welcome in. Matt Stannard, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all good. Nice to see you yesterday, Colin. Yes, it was absolutely brilliant to see Colin yesterday. Right, let's have a quick look at the league table. Here it is in all its glory. Ipswich Town currently sit in second, 33 majestic points, one behind Plymouth, who obviously kick off in 58 minutes time, and Wednesday, who are currently at halftime, as I say, winning 1-0. So that is an up-to-date league table as things stand. Wednesday would go 1 point behind the Super Blues. Peterborough today are away at Oxford. So, a result for Oxford, then you really could start to see a mini table start to form with Plymouth, Ipswich, and Sheffield Wednesday. Lovely. Right. Let's go in and bring in somebody who was at the game last night. I think, going to the game should be rewarded by coming in first. I think the iFollow season ticket holder should sit on the sidelines a bit. The Cruncher, Richard Moss.
You're talking utter fucking.
Hello, Mr. Moss. How are we?
About 2 minutes ago, I had an absolute disaster. There was coffee everywhere. I caught it on the chair. It spilt everywhere. Oh.
Don't talk to me about disasters, my man. Right. Okay. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, including the people who overnight decided they would take whatever it was to my wife's back window, smashing it. Yep. Woke up this morning, neighbours at the door. Do you know your back window smashed? Well, no, not really. Go outside. Whoever it is, I don't know what the situation is. The back window is smashed.
Unbelievable. Sophie Lambert, someone smashed her back doors in.
Look, I would laugh. I would laugh about it another day. Well, I don't think there's anything actually, because there's fuck all in her car to take. She's got nothing in it. I mean, my car, in some direction, up or down a road, has got the gear from last night in, for example. Because I'm a bit lazy, get home late. Just leave it in the car, it's fine. So I'm £100 down because the excess. I'm £100 down because someone decided they'd take a fancy to my wife's back doors.
Have you got all the glass out?
I'm disabled. I'm pulling the blue card out, quite literally and figuratively. I'm out. But yeah, £100. So if you are in the market for some merchandise, hit the shop.talkingtown site. Hit to
we get 100 quid. Can we get 100 quid before the end of the show, please?
Or head to Ko-fi, one-off donation, monthly commitment. because I've got 100 pound to find somewhere and a baby on the way. Fuck, mate. Anyway, as you said about disasters, it reminded me. There you go. There's the picture. Crunch. Last night was much better. My voice is going. I must have shouted an awful lot. And McKenna himself on the sidelines last night, you'll know this because you're much closer than I am, really animated, really. He was official back and forth.
The first half, he was in the fourth official's ear. I think there was a tackle. I think it was on John Jules. It wasn't given a free kick. Yeah, he was quite animated, but it was nice, wasn't it? I know the stadium. We said about the atmosphere, Martin, last Saturday against Lincoln. It was a whole lot better last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good.
And I think really all stands played their part last night. It just wasn't,
including the away fans.
It wasn't the North. It was all of them. The Derby fans probably helped because there was 1,700 of them. You know, travelled well, so it was a really good night, and it wasn't the greatest performance. I don't think we can sit here and say it was, but it doesn't matter. We got the W, didn't you? There you go.
We did. Matt Stannard, thank you very much. Thank
80
you.
to go. Come on. 80 to go. Please, dig deep in the chat. Please, come on.
Oh, mate, just imagine, knock at the door. There I am in my gym jams. Do you know your back door's smashed in?
You wear pajamas?
I do. Oh. Not to sleep, just to get up and walk around it. Because I don't think, you know.
Hey, you crouch at £10. Come on.
There you go. We're smashing it. We're smashing it. We're on the march. We're on the march. You can smash all the back doors in if you like. Sorry. Yeah, I know. It's Stone Market for you, Rady. What, you know, there we go. But no, really good atmosphere. Really good from the Derby fans. Travelled in number on a Friday night. Could have watched it on Sky. They could have stayed at home, Rich, and done exactly what this.
The Media Mogul.
We've just lost the teenagers. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Matt Phillips.
Matthew Phillips, the part-time fan. How are you?
I'm all good, thanks. That's unbelievable about your window. Can't believe that.
Yeah, I know. Fucking disgraceful, isn't it? But I didn't mention it in the WhatsApp group because I just didn't want to talk about it, really.
You were a bit bad-tempered this morning, weren't you, to begin with? This explains it.
Yeah.
This explains it now, doesn't it?
I've since had a shower and had about 18 cups of coffee and still knocks me a little bit. But, you know, life is life. You know, but I thank you for the contribution.
Was there a brick or anything in there, or stone?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I went out with the guy who knocked on my door and I was like...
Oh, Lincoln has scored. Lincoln goal.
Yes! Get in! Yes! Love it. And I was like, oh, no, please don't be my car. Because obviously my car's got the gear in. Which it hasn't now, by the way. Just to say that quickly before somebody says, oh, I've got the wrong car. But yeah, it is what it is. How did you see Town last night? Back to the football, because you know, I want to keep that high, keep that adrenaline. I said last night on Twitter, I've got so much adrenaline pumping through my veins. I'm not going to sleep for a week. And honestly, it was a struggle. How was it in the iFollow suite?
Well, it was on Sky Sports. So we watched it. I watched it on there, obviously. You were pumped up in there. I watched the post-match stuff. You were pumped up behind
I was pumping it up, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Don't
good.
You know, pump it up. We're gonna win the league.
I don't know if anyone else who watched it on TV was the same, but they gave it like a big thing on Sky. It was on Sky Sports News, like a little bit of build up, and it was some good build up to it. I mean, obviously, it used to be a Premier League fixture, this, didn't it? And here we are in League One. So two big names that have both won top flight titles down in League One, but it was good. I thought we looked good in the black.
I really liked that, actually.
It looked very good.
I really liked it.
Again, whether or not we need free kits is another thing, but we looked good in the black, I thought. Loved it. I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was very open.
It was a really good game. Yeah, it was a really good game. Moby, it's good to see you last night, by the way. Sorry I couldn't speak to you. You came over just as I hit the live button, and then I've got 30 seconds, as Matt and Rich know, where the intro plays, and we've got to try and get it sorted. And I was like, hi, Moby, sorry. Live microphone. But yeah,
we're smashing Afghanistan, Matt, in the T20. Oh, we just lost a wicket. Butler's just out. There you go.
Well done, Rich. Commentator's curse there. Yeah. We're smashing Afghanistan. Oh, no,
we are smashing them.
What is the score? What is the score?
We need 113 to win, and we're 35 for 1. Sam Curran, 5 for 10, Matt. 5 for 10 he took.
That's impressive.
Absolutely.
Very impressive.
McKenna last night, intense on the pitch and in the stadium. Did that come across, Matt? With the TV cameras and the microphones around the pitch, etc.
Not particularly. He did the thing at the end, where they put those little bud things in their ears and they talk to the studio. He was on that with Aaron McLean. Who's Will out Aaron McLean these days?
Why is Aaron McLean suddenly our go-to?
I spoke to him, boys, on Tuesday night. He was doing the game. I told you about, didn't I, for Talk Sport on the radio.
Yeah.
I spoke to him after the game. Nice guy.
Every time he's on, I keep getting a message from somebody. And it's, who is this Aaron McLean? Who is he?
He's had more Sky appearances than he had Town appearances.
Appearances, exactly.
Courtney Sweetman Kirk, female footballer, plays for Sheffield United. She was a very good pundit.
Who was doing co-coms on the game? Did we have Don Goodman?
No.
I don't know who he was. It was some guy from the West Country. So I don't know. I missed who that was.
I will watch it back. I'll watch it back at some point.
But I mean, look, I said to you at half time, they thought that Derby could nick it because we'd had a lot of the play and they were soaking it up. Luckily, it didn't turn out to be the case, but it's always, look, David, who sits behind me, always says, 1 goal is never enough, Matt. He always says that in my ear. We got 1 up. And it felt like that last night, didn't it? Certainly when we missed the pen. But McKenna spoke really well, I thought, after the game. And they said he's like really calm, comes across as very analytical and, you know, doesn't look like too much ruffles him. But from your views, you're thinking he was quite animated on the touchline.
He certainly was. He was giving the fourth official at times, Rich, a lot of stick, and it was intense a lot of times on the pitch, but also in the stadium. It was really a cauldron, and the longer it was 0-0, the longer you wanted to support the lads, but the longer the nerves and everything started to creep in.
Yeah,
you get a bit edgy, don't you? When
you do,
because it was. Look, I think Ben Moore said on the full-time show, as well as giving Christian Walton man of the match, Matt, that I think everyone couldn't believe. He said it was a boring game. And I didn't think it was a boring game at all. It was interesting. It always sort of had it captured you, didn't it? And it was, who's going to get this first goal? Because I think it was either one way, wasn't it? Whoever scored that first goal would probably go on to win it. But then if you look at the stats, I don't think Derby actually they didn't have a shot on target the whole game. So I know we're nervous in them last 7 minutes when he put the board up. And, you know, then obviously Curtis Davis was up front because he couldn't walk because they'd used all their subs. But there was no point really when I thought Derby were going to equalise. I know you're nervous and it's only 1-0. And I think if we'd used the ball a little bit better in a couple of free situations, we should have probably broken away, guys, and probably got another goal. But we didn't.
Is what McKenna kind of said.
He did say that. But we didn't. And look, it was 1-0. We're back on the road. We showed after Plymouth we won 3 games, I think, didn't we? And then we've obviously off the back of Lincoln, and we've got a chance here to have another 9-point week.
We really have. Yeah, absolutely right.
Games, I think Port Vale, it'll be tough, and Charlton will be tough. But I think they're games that we can realistically go there with confidence and expect to. I think we can win both of them games.
For sure. And it's funny you say that because I messaged Tom James back, who watched it with some Forest fans, and of course that brings its own dynamic. And I said, I don't know why I was so nervous in the stadium, Matt, because as Rich has just rightly said, I don't actually remember sitting here this morning thinking Christian Walton's made too many saves. And then McKenna says after the game, belief in ourselves and trust in ourselves. We've got to start doing that, haven't we? Because we are a good side.
Oh God, yeah. But I mean, look, I think it's probably quite typical now. And I know Richard said this before. Ipswich fans have been burnt before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're drawing on past experience in the present moment. But yeah, absolutely. Actually, in the cold light of day, they didn't actually do very much. They contained us well, didn't they? The kid on the left hand side, Rich, you liked, didn't you? Kaskin?
Yeah, Gov did. He mentioned him before the game, didn't you?
No, my onions. No, I'm listening to the Derby fan.
Wasn't he? Really, he was probably their best defender because obviously James Chester got a book in. And obviously, we'll talk about Curtis Davis made the mistake for the goal. But I think, Matt, it's like you say, and Martin, you just say about we've got to start trusting them because I think if we'd sat here this afternoon and it had been a draw, them little doubts would creep in. You know, you'd lost to Lincoln and then you're 2 without a win and people are starting to get a little bit edgy. But you've taken that away by winning that game. And it's great that we're sitting here this afternoon, everyone else is playing, we've got the 3 points and we can just sit back and we might have a couple of results go our way, we might not, but it doesn't really matter because we've done our job.
Control the controllables, as you often say.
McKenna said they'll be back in for training today in these little Sky piece, and then they've got Sunday off, Monday get ready for Port Vale, and then off for the game. But I mean, look, again, you think back to the Lincoln game, don't you? Where we had, what was it, 33 shots or whatever, 20 blocked, 5 on target, 5 in the bloody top tier of the Bobby Robson stand. All these things add up, don't they? At 0-0, and you get into 70 minutes and 73 minutes and what have you. But they found the way, albeit it was gifted to them. But they were there. They were there to capitalise.
I'd quite like to go and get Cash in if we get promoted, and they don't, because I think he can play either side. He's both-footed.
Yeah.
He's a good upcoming defender, and a lot of resale value there as well, which obviously would feature on Ashton's dashboard.
Yeah.
Kayden Jackson. Let's talk about Kayden Jackson for a moment, because he's a talk of social media, rightly so. Many people praising the performance, many people also criticising the performance. Matt, I'll start with yourself, because I feel the goal actually sums up Kayden Jackson really well, because he's done all the hard work. He's read the game.
Yeah.
He's done the running. He's done the touch. And he's just got to slide it in, as I said last night, and take the applause of 27,000 fans. And at the vital moment, it hits that post. The nearly, Matt.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I was going to say. You saw the best and worst of him in 10 seconds. Inside 10 seconds. He's capitalised on the back pass from Davies. He's got the speed. He's got the awareness of foot to get round the keeper. And then it hits the post. And that's probably the frustration all Ipswich fans have got with Kayden, in that he doesn't quite tick all the boxes that we want from a striker. And that, I mean, thank God Burns was there to be there to get the rebound. But look, I mean, fair play to Kayden. Look, he ain't hitting the post on purpose, is he? He did all the hard work. He read the game well to put us in that position. But really, you're right. You want to see someone tuck that home and get the applause of the crowd. But that's the frustration of Kayden, sadly.
It is, and people will say it's unlucky, like Lee Baylis, and they're right, it is unlucky, Rich, but we've often seen Kayden in those positions, or similar positions, like Burton, for example, where he's one-on-one with a keeper, he's got most of the goal to strike, and it just hits the goalie's back leg. Yeah. It's becoming once is an accident, more than once it's, well, you've got a little bit of an issue here with how you finish the ball one-on-one or with an empty net.
Hawks left me a message this morning, and I don't know if you might have seen it, Matt. They put his stats up before the game last night, and it was like about 137 games. Was it 26, 27 goals?
Something like that, yeah.
So last night, I think Martin summed up Kayden Jackson's Town career.
It really did.
I thought he was excellent and I don't think if you're watching at home, you can see a lot of his movement. I thought he was excellent, but it's that final little piece, isn't it? Putting the ball in the net. They say it's the hardest job in football. Yeah. Now, like you say there, Matt, the goal he's got, that's all his work. That's all his work, because he's read that back pass and he's got there obviously with his speed. But like you say, Gov, he's there. Just compose yourself, steady yourself, roll the ball in. You've got the whole goal to aim at there.
Yeah.
And he didn't score. And he was lucky. What I like about that goal is watch Marcus Harness's reaction when it comes off the post, and he's saying to Burns, like, literally, take your time. He could have easily rushed it, and he could have missed. Look, it was an open goal. But Kayden, look, I've been reading some of the stuff on social media this morning, Martin. It's a load of nonsense. If I'm a football player, stay off the socials, because he's had an excellent game there. There's people saying, get him out of the club, get him out of the club. He's rubbish. If we wanted an Olympic sprinter, we'd sign somebody. I think that's really disrespectful to him, because he has worked his absolute bollocks off to get a new contract, which I said on here before, when he could have easily sulked, he could have easily been out the door, Martin. But he's actually showed Kieran something to get off with that contract. And at the end of the day, we can all have our opinions about anybody. It don't matter. It's the manager that picks the team, and he must see something every week in training for Jackson to be picked. Look, if we get promoted, is he going to be good enough? I don't think so. But he works in this system, and I could see why he played him last night, because he got the pace, and it did work at times. There is at times when he gets into them positions when the final ball into the box, it lacks a bit of quality, but I don't think, Martin, we can ever sit here and ever question his work ethic.
Oh my God, no, certainly not. And I think McKenna knows he's not perhaps got that natural finisher's instinct, Matt, because he's been converted from what I can see really as a striker to a winger. Because again, last night he wasn't the guy leading the charge; it was John Jules. So I think McKenna can almost see that as well. No,
I totally agree. I think look, he spoke very well after the game, Kayden, by the way, because he got man of the match for the very reasons you just said. That his work rate, Sky said, was off the scale, and that's the reason he got it. And I do think that probably does go a little bit unnoticed on TV, but he does come across as like, I think Rich is right. I think if he went to the Championship, I don't think he would come with us. But his role obviously is to get us into the Championship rather than keep us there. But he hasn't quite got. A few people are saying he hasn't quite got the instinctual finishing, which is obviously why maybe they have put him out wide. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? When you've got all that pace. I would argue that John Jules is, I mean, he's very good at holding out the ball and drawing a foul. But again, you only see goals from him in isolation, don't you? Was it, he got the first against Cambridge? Was it got 2 goals, Cambridge and Shrewsbury?
Yeah.
Right, I'm thinking that. So, I mean, look, he's not a great marksman either. I'm not saying that he is, you know, a rubbish player, but his role in the team seems to be to hold the ball up, draw a foul, bring the wide players in.
How did you see the performance?
That's a really good
of John?
point off the back of that, Gov, about people having a go at Jackson. I think if you look, there's question marks about all of our strikers, if you're being really honest. There is question marks about them all.
Yeah, there is.
And I think when we do get to January, I think to push ourselves over the line, I think we probably will have to spend a bit of cash. Yeah. But they all do bring something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But they're all, for me, you're judged by how many goals you get. You can do as much work and whatever. It's about sticking that ball in the back of the net. And Ben messaged me last night saying, you won't get promoted without a striker. Now, we could get to January when the window comes, and we'll probably be, we're going to be sitting somewhere up the top, aren't we, top 2. But for that final 3 or 4 months of the season, it could be like Marcus Stewart, Matt, where you went to Huddersfield and you paid that money. And that was that little bit of quality that got you out of the league. And that's what we're going to need in the end, I think. And someone who can obviously take it to the next level if we get to the Championship, who can play at that level as well.
How was John Jules at home, Matt? Because in the stadium, for me, as I said at halftime in the WhatsApp group, I would have took him off. We're not giving Davis or anybody anything to cope with. But McKenna said about we always had that threat in behind. I didn't quite see that. How was it on this guy?
Well, yeah, I'd agree. I think he's probably being a little bit generous there. But like I say, he did seem to come deep, win the ball, draw the foul. You get the free kick. You got a set piece opportunity. Yeah, I probably agree with what you said there. But as some of the guys are saying here, like he's young, he's raw, he's come from Arsenal to us for a reason to play games and learn. He's not going to be, I don't know, like Marcus Stewart, for example, coming and making an immediate impact. I mean, it did get me thinking. I do totally agree with what you said there. There is question marks, and I was thinking this through the game. There is question marks with all our strikers. Certainly when the Dapo come on, he was sort of at a jogging pace, wasn't he? Which was whether or not that was his instructions, I don't know. But I mean, you know, you get told you defend from the top, don't you? And certainly he wasn't pressing the Derby defenders. They came out trying to scramble that equaliser. But I mean, look, do they go back for Bon again? I mean, look, he's still on. He's not even in the squad at QPR, is he not? Is he someone they might go back to January? I know that he didn't. I know he didn't finish the season great. What was it, 1 goal in 7 months or whatever? But the fact he's frozen out there, Sports Ipswich would be hungry to make an impact. Who knows? I do agree. I do feel like someone else will come in. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Gino asking in the chat how much you'd spend. Now, obviously, promotion to the championship, to get my words right, is 9 million, because that's what we were told we were losing out on when we first came down to League One. So how much would you be willing to part with if you were Mr. Ashton O'Leary and co with the checkbook?
For a striker?
For a striker, for the man that's going to get you over the hump.
Well, I think if you went for Bon, nominal fee most likely. But their manager, is it Mick Bill? He's getting linked with Wolves at the moment, so you never know. Someone else could come in and fancy Bon and he plays.
He said no to that.
Yeah.
Silly boy. Silly boy.
Silly boy.
Didn't listen to Martin's advice. Opportunity knock. See you later.
Because I bet you, I would be willing to put money on when the going gets tough. QPR get going.
There'll be someone else wanting, because you look at, he was at Villa with Gerrard. Now,
he was.
Look at the drop off since he's gone. They've been terrible. Getting back to how much would you spend, Martin? We've spent over $1 million on a left back here. So,
I know.
So I think you'd be spending over $1 million. It just depends who's about. I know January is a bit crazy in it, because sometimes, look, we were talking the other day, weren't we, about the famous Sunderland documentary when you're after Will Grigg, and it was $1.5 million and it went up to 4. So I don't think we'll be that stupid. But look, there'll be players out there that obviously that we're probably even looking at now. They'll be on that dashboard. And they'll be keeping an eye on them. So
depends where you're coming from, doesn't it? Depends where you come from, innit? Because look, Leaf came from Leeds, so they could ask Premier League 2 and ask for a big wage. But I mean, you could dip into League 2. They might even look. It's not happened yet, has it? Could he dip into the loan market of Man United with one of their lads? We don't know whether or not that's an experienced head.
Or the South American market, or the Scottish market. There's plenty of markets out there.
If we think there's question marks on our strikers, then yeah, absolutely. They'll be looking right now. If we think it, other people, they'll be thinking it, I'm sure.
Moby says, Bond be a last resort with enough inconsistent strikers as it is. Procrastinating one ball. If I see you last week, by the way, one ball. If you pay over 1 million for left back, then more than that. Lee Anderson, the talk about Ladapo is nonsense. He came on late last night and was pressing on his own. No, Lee, I disagree. I didn't enjoy Freddie Ladapo.
He was
body language looked terrible.
Yeah, indeed. He had a weird plaster on his head as well.
He's probably the reason why I can't speak quite well today, because I was shouting, work harder.
If I was him and I've just come on, I've got 2 goals, I need a goal. I would have been grabbing hold of that ball when the penalty was given. I'll be saying, I'm taking it.
Yeah, that was odd. That I thought he would take it. Yeah. I was the same as you all when Jackson got it. I was like,
you were. You're watching with your eyes shut, and you're thinking, oh, for fuck's sake.
I turned away.
When he missed it, I turned into Mr. Tourette's. I was like Ben Moore at post-match. There was a lot of swearing going on down the house.
I turned away when he got the ball. I turned away. I put the coat over my head, and I was thought, "Oh Christ, please let me hear a cheer in a minute." But
we've all seen it on the socials, Matt. The still of the.
Oh, no, I'm not blaming them. Not blaming them at all, because it's another archaic rule from the FA. You have a linesman.
He's the angle down. He's 3 yards off of his line. That lino on the side.
What I'm going to say first.
How did he? Oh, go on, say.
Linesman looking down the line. He's got 2 jobs: make sure those studs stay on the line, and to know when the ball's struck. When that ball is struck, you've got to move your head. We're talking seconds here. You're talking a very quick.
Stop making
You're talking a very quick decision. I can't truly blame a linesman. You've got 4 officials for a penalty. Why can somebody not come up with a system that's better? Or you're looking at the goalie and you both agree at the end, was his feet on the line? Yep, fine. Because you're asking one bloke to keep doing this it's not easy.
Well, no,
it's not an easy
why they got
thing.
VAR. Because that would have been taken in the Premier League, wouldn't it? There's your solution.
He should see it, but I can fully see why he doesn't see it, because that still is not real time, Rich. That's a still. Now show me in real time, because when I watch the highlights back, it's really hard to keep your eye on the ball and the keeper and say for sure.
Clearly, he's not just off the line though, Gov. He's 3 yards off the line.
And it was a badly hit pen as well.
He's jumping out of his goal. It's not hard. That's not hard. He shouldn't be missing that.
No, he shouldn't. But it was a bad pen.
What are they doing, refereeing or lining at this level, if they can't get the simple decisions correct? Yeah. And I'm not saying it was really good. It was a shit penalty anyway. We're not saying it wasn't, but
it was.
Should have been taking it again.
They were really good, though, to be fair. I thought that was exactly how an officiating crew should work, Matt, because the referee for the penalty, for example, couldn't see it, didn't see it. So the linesman then waved it and gave it. And it worked as a team.
There was a lot of people on the post-match, or what I saw in the comments, going, "Oh, it wasn't a pen." Listen, I've seen multiple angles of that. That was a pen all day.
It was.
Pen all day. Yeah.
It was a striker's challenge, wasn't it?
McGoldrick. This annoyed me last night. Why did McGoldrick get the old applause and, oh, David? I mean, just big him up. Just big him up. Why don't you?
No.
Because we show class as fans, Matt. We don't all have to be knobs.
Rich would say to us, we're too nice as a fan base. There should have been silence.
Yep.
Yeah, nice little sing as he went down in the corner and warmed up, and a little polite ripple as he came on.
No.
Polite ripple. The whole stadium basically stood up and chucked him roses.
That's it in a nutshell. On comes the striker to try and get him back in the game, and we're cheering him. These are the same people that clapped when we got relegated.
I said to the guys about,
you're just showing a bit of respect, and
I will do after the game. After the game,
I'm quite happy to do it. I'm quite happy to do it as he comes on. Thanks.
He comes on. He feels great. Scores a goal. How do you feel then? I don't feel very gentlemanly. I
agree.
He didn't score.
I agree with that.
Look how it works when we've abused players before, like Will Keane last season. Look what happened there.
Well, just do what Matt says. He's a nobody. Just treat him with silence. Absolutely. Who is he?
That doesn't happen. Look, this is football and it's emotional.
Yeah, but you're often on this platform saying we're too nice guys.
Nice for certain things, but I think showing a little bit of respect to somebody doesn't cost a lot.
I'll tell you what else annoyed me last night, Martin. I've not noticed this before. Everyone's going. The amount of people wearing the relegation shirt from the Championship still. What the hell? We don't want reminding of that. They got the magical Vegas on, the white sleeves.
I wonder if they can pick that up for next to nothing these days. Because we had a gentleman on the pre-game show that wasn't a Town fan by his own words.
Unbelievable when he said he was talking and he took his top off. He had a Town shirt on.
Yeah.
He was giving it the big build-up and then he said, I'm not actually an Ipswich fan. I support Southampton. I was at Bournemouth before. Hey,
I was like, wow.
Should be banned. That it's bringing back too many bad memories. These are the kind of people that go on cruise holidays and then go down the cinema and say, "Can we watch Titanic, please?" No one wants to be reminded of that at sea, do they? So yeah, get it banned. Get it banned.
Get it banned, says Matt Phillips. The Fisherman, not hard for a player to put his laces through the ball. Shocking penalty. Should have kept drilling and sold Jack. Oh, have a sit down and a cup of coffee, Mike. Christ's sake. Rob Holmes should keep drilling.
Mike never picks up Jackson, does he?
I ain't got to read any more after the words keep drilling. Rob Holmes should try a cheeky bid for Johnson Clark Harris when Peterborough outside playoffs in January. Darragh leaving at the end of the season anyway.
Is that correct? Rich, you big fan?
Yeah,
Is he
did you know Darragh? Did you know Darragh's got a real weird superstition, Matt? So he'll watch the first half of a game, but then doesn't watch the second half and turns his phone off.
That's what Mike Brown does, isn't it?
Easy. He's not here to defend. He's not here to
Sorry, right.
Hopefully, we'll have Darragh on when we play Peterborough sometime soon, won't we? We can ask him then. But yeah, he's leaving at the end of the season. Well, he said he's leaving at the end of the season. So.
Craig at Portsmouth. Anyone think like me? Davis is very smartly pretending to be injured to get out of a yellow card. How did you see Davis? Because there was conflicting views. Matt, you had something on the WhatsApp group that was different to what the post-game show was. How did you see his performance?
Well, I was surprised. Look, I thought he did all right, but there was one. Everyone said, "Oh, he didn't put a foot wrong. He didn't put a foot wrong." There was one moment where he was loose with the ball, and I think Derby picked up on the position, and it zoomed. The cameras at the break of play, the camera zoomed in on Morsey. He was giving one head of a bollocking. He was going, "Leave, gotta do better." You know, so I mean, Morsey really was giving him an earful. But again, I thought he did all right. He took a bit of a blow in the first half. He kept touching his jaw. And I was thinking, what's going on there? But yeah, I mean, I agree with.
You ain't taking a Phillips right-hander, had he?
No, you don't get up from those.
They'd have been bringing on that little stretcher thing with the guy in the car. He's looking better and better. I mean, you think back to the first day of the season when he gave away the pen and bolt, and everyone was going, "Who the hell's this kid for £1 million quid?" But yeah, he's seen progress. It's great to see. Really.
So I still maintained my opinion from last night, Rich. First 20 or 30 minutes, not the greatest I've ever seen him playing in a blue shirt. Mendez-Laing, for pace, had him, and it took him a while to tactically adjust and perhaps drop off a yard or two and give himself more time to react, because first 20, right in front of me, in front of the Cobbold, it was looking shaky, and I thought, this guy's got Davis every which way.
How many chances did they create then?
About 2 or 3. Not many clear cut, but there was some decent balls.
It was a really good battle. I said after the show, Matt, it was good yesterday because Davis didn't get forward as much as he has in previous games, but I thought that was a really good learning curve for him last night. He's playing against an experienced player who's played in the Championship, Mendez-Laing. He's a good player.
Good player. Big stocky guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got some arms on him.
He was at Sheffield. I think he was at Middlesbrough. I think he was out for a year as well.
I thought he handled him quite well. I thought that's a real good sort of learning curve for Leif Davis there, because he didn't really get forward as much as expected. But I thought, well, Colin give him man in a match. I wouldn't have given him man in a match, but I thought he had a decent game. And it's another step. He's progressing every single game, guys. He's improving, and if he keeps improving like this, he could have, like, you know what happened to Aaron Cresswell, in the end he went to the Premier League.
Back to the Premier League. Yeah, exactly. So, go back.
The best bit about Davis was, as you say, he adjusted in-game. He adjusted to what was happening in front of him, how he could deal with it, how he had to play differently to how he normally does, because Mendez-Laing, as I say, he's very lightning quick. Like, Jackson's fast. To me, Mendez-Laing was lightning, because it was not the ball and catch me if you can. And a couple of times, got to the byline, put the ball in the box, and had that a striker, maybe a Collins, who was suspended. Who knows on a different day, but he was suspended. Ian says Fisherman. Oh, I'm not going to read that. No, I'm not going to put it up. I'm not going to put it up.
What he's saying, Ian, that the Fisherman.
We should get behind whoever's playing. If you're not going to support, don't bother going. Well, to be fair, Mike doesn't. We love you, Mike. Mike, we wouldn't. I couldn't do shows without you. I absolutely love Mike. He says he does say he got me to bite, and he did get me to bite. To be fair, he did, because anytime Drinnan's mentioned, I have to.
What about the highlight last night, Matt? In injury time, and 4 players went down at once from Town.
We saw 2 of them on the camera.
Brilliant.
yeah.
It was fantastic, wasn't it, Gov?
You were crying out for this, weren't you?
This is what we need to do, but we only had one physio. Slowly, one by one, they got up. Oh, I'm all right. Yeah, I think I can run it off. I'll be all right till the end.
Yeah, they all looked around and realised that they'd all had the same idea at the exact same time. There was also a moment in the game where I saw one of the coaches sort of just do that, and then Lee Evans went down for a couple of minutes, and then he did go off in here, so he may have been injured at that moment.
Let's talk about that tackle.
Lovely, love it. Do it again.
Oh, that's a naughty one.
That's what I'm here for. If you get away with it, that's what I'm here for. That's football. That's football. Welcome to Portman Road.
He left a bit in there, didn't he? As the guy,
just a touch.
Yeah.
Right,
but he did the ball first. Fair.
One of my greatest memories as a football fan, before bringing Mr. Lee Anderson in, is when we went to Wolves under Mick, and Carl Henry was there, enforcer, strong. It was his playground. Gerard indoor.
You love him, didn't you? You absolutely love him.
I love any time a player turns up and finds the bully and puts him 10 foot in the air and says, "My playground today. We'll do what I say."
He scored his goal against. He scored a goal, didn't he, at the Churchman's?
Forest.
That was it, and he literally tapped it in, didn't he? And he
tapped it. He burst the ball, son.
That's still in reception at Ipswich, isn't it? That burst ball. I think Mick tried to sign Cole Henry for us, at some point.
He was a nasty
player.
Yeah, the problem was he met Gerard Indoor, who was just that little bit more. I don't know why he couldn't get in Paul Jewell's team. We're going off track here, but Gerard Indoor wouldn't be played by Paul Jewell. I don't know why. Because Mick came in, he put him in.
So who would you choose in a poll then out of toughest, Indoor or Morsey?
Oh, Indoor. Indoor was silently tough.
Yeah,
he just finds you and kick you in the air, and I love it. One of the greatest ever loan signings, I think, just because I love a bit of a nasty streak in a player. Like
he was loan, wasn't he? Yeah.
It gets you pumped in the stands, You see them giving it like that. Blood, thunder, guts, glory.
And had to leave the club though, didn't he?
Who? Indoor. I don't know how he left. That time was a bit hazy.
Yeah, I can't remember that either.
I had alcohol.
What was funny on Sky last night was when they said when Keogh came on, they said, yeah, and for Keogh, he had just a slightly sour incident that made him leave the club. What? He got a good reception from the Derby fans. They zoomed in when he came on. They gave him a good clap.
I wrote down here, Keogh, header, last minute.
Yeah, that was a great header, didn't it?
Key moment of the season. What a header.
It was interesting because he was ready about 3 minutes before that, and they were. I said to the boys, he's not going to come on yet. They're going to wait till there's probably about a minute to go here.
Yeah,
he was giving it a big one in front of the North Stand at the end when they were walking around. He's loving it.
He's
got a role to play here because I think Wolfenden's one game away from a man now.
You're right.
So he's probably going to have to come in for a game soon. I went to Nando's yesterday, bumped into Cameron Burgess. He was in there.
Was he?
Yeah, played for the 21s yesterday. He
all right,
didn't have his mask on. Didn't have his mask on.
Key question here.
Imagine if he did. That'd look weird, wouldn't it?
Are you one of those fans that interrupts a player's dinner?
No. I met him at the door. We were waiting to go in. And I just chatted to him. I wouldn't go up to him and say, "Can I have a picture with you?"
Was he going in or was he coming out?
He was going in, but there was a massive queue. And then obviously we had to wait for a little bit. And then he went out and then he came back in.
No, he went in. He saw who was in there, and he thought, "Fuck this."
He's massive.
I like the corn on the cob you get in Nando's. Good.
You don't like food?
No, I like that. That's nice, tasty. I like that bit of peri chicken.
What you're having?
Nice. It is nice. Yeah. I do have some of their sauces in the cupboard downstairs.
Come on, governor, needs 70 quid. Everyone in the chat, please.
I don't need 70
quid. He had 30 quid. We had a roaring start, and now we've ground to a halt. So if you want to donate to Gov's excess for the car.
As Bob Geldof once said, give us your bloody money. Lee Anderson, how are you doing?
Afternoon all. Are you all okay?
How you doing?
Yeah.
Just before we get on to the football, Nando's, the most irrelevant restaurant in the history of restaurants. You get chicken, and then you get a mild peri-peri sauce. You get a slightly mild peri-peri sauce. You get a medium peri-peri sauce.
Don't forget lemon and herb.
He's garbage. I'm not having it. Not having Nando's blasphemy at lunchtime. Not having it. Sorry, Lee. Couldn't resist. Blasphemy. 2-2 chicken Nando, my man. 2-2 chicken.
Irrelevant. You can't even get a burger.
You did enjoy it. I bet you'd enjoy it if you had one.
I've had a Nando's. I've never gone back again. But anyway,
you can't get
just quickly before you go on about food. Did we all see the KFC in London Road on Twitter?
No, what's this?
Do not visit there. Rats galore by the bins. KFC in London Road in Ipswich. Give it a miss.
Where did you see this? Hang on, whoa. Let's fact check this. Where did you see this?
Social media. Someone put a video on there.
May not be correct. Just all views are their own, not of the network.
Yeah.
It did look like there was quite a few rats.
They're going for the bargain bucket.
Hey,
Talking of
why
rats.
not?
No, we won't
Big
get
up, AD. £10. Thank you very much, AD. We love you. Appreciate you.
60 to go. 60 to go. Come on.
Adrian says £10 for the gov. Tell me how to get money to you, or have to wait till the next match. Adrian, just hit the super chat button, or someone in the chat will help you out, because I want to hear from Lee. And I love you, Adrian, by the way. What you felt of the game? Andy Warren gave Luke Wolfenden an 8. Was he right? Is he right? What do you think?
Oh, I hate scoring players. Do you know what? He was decent, wasn't he? And I think most players were. So you have to look at the context of the game, in my opinion. And last night, I think you mentioned it, we were edgy. It was edgy in the crowd. It was something on it. It meant a lot. You know, we rocked up against Lincoln, and the crowd thought, oh, you know, it's 3 points, so. Because it was Derby, it just felt like a real game that really meant something, and there was a lot riding on it. The guy who sits next to me says, I'm really nervous about tonight. And you could sense, I don't think there was a nervousness in the atmosphere, but there was something riding on it, particularly that we'd lost to Lincoln and, you know, a team that you would expect to win against. So I just think there was that around, and I think that helps the atmosphere, especially when there's a lot of fans in there. And the game was, and I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Because the atmosphere was good. Derby tried to play. I think I said in the chat, Derby are the best. That's the best group of players we've seen at Portman Road this season, in my opinion. They're better than Portsmouth, but they're just not gelling. I think they're going to get better and better as the season goes on. And we've got 3 points against them at the right time. Yeah. So I can only see them getting better. So it'll be interesting to see what they're like when we play them at their place. So, you know, but they tried to play, and the game was we just cancelled each other out a little bit, perhaps, but there was something riding on it which made it better for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't get the criticism of Jackson. Every player that we've got at this club has their limitations. We know their strengths, we know their weaknesses. We've got a front line of 5 or 6 players, something like that, and they all bring something slightly different. And what McKenna does is he picks them right for the game. And whatever you say about Jackson, his pressing to get the goal, he pressed to get there. That back pass wasn't. I've seen worse back passes than that, and not get punished. I mean, Jackson's run from the blind side.
Didn't he, Lee? If you watch it, he's already on the move before Davis is, and that gives him that ability to get there.
Yeah, that's the trigger. I think when, you know, without trying to get into it too deep, then when you're coaching presses, you coach triggers when there's a time to trigger. And that was a time to trigger because the guy had his back to goal. He was being closed down by, was it Burns or someone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so that's the trigger. So if you're being coached those triggers, you're going to run in and go for that ball. And he's doing what he's told to do. He's doing what's been asked of him. It's just a shame he didn't finish. I agree with what Richard said. It just sums his time up at town a bit, doesn't it? But I mean, but he's running up quick. He's running fast, isn't he? He's running fast, and he's got to do that. But half a second composure. The angle, what's he got? Half the goal to look at from that angle. He hasn't got a full goal. He's not in front of it, and he's at the post. But
it's still a simple finish, though.
Great,
Ray. Come on.
Yeah, when it bounced out, I'm looking over that from where I sit, and I'm thinking to Burns, don't lash that. And he's taken a touch, and from there on, there's only one. You know, it's going in, and it was a great goal. So you know, there's positives there, but just going back to the penalty as well. I mean, I don't understand anybody that doesn't watch it, regardless. We all thought the same. Oh my God, he might miss. But don't we think that about every penalty? The only person I've never thought that about is John Walk. So John Walk was, what he missed one or something like that? He didn't miss many. He didn't miss many, did he? And you think, oh, he's going to score. Yeah. But with Jackson, I don't like this stuttery run up. If you're going to have a stutter run up, then you've got to watch where the goalkeeper's going. When he kicks the ball, he still gets his head pointing down to the ball. So if you're going to stutter the run up, see what the goalkeeper's doing.
You make a great point there. Watch Ivan Toney take a penalty, Lee. He's got, I think, 28 out of 29. He strolls up. His eyes are on the goalkeeper. If you look at his penalties, he doesn't look at the ball. He's looking at the keeper because he's got the confidence. He knows that. Watch with your eyes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you should know where the ball is because it's by your foot because you just put your foot next to it. But, it's just whether or not you then double bluff the goalkeeper. The goalkeepers in those positions should just stand still. Should really just stand still. And but it's easy enough for us to all say, isn't it? Because we're not the one taking it. But I think the stutter in his run-up also caused the goalkeeper to come off the line. Because the goalkeeper's got to try to, when there's a run-up, a straight run-up, the goalkeeper's timing his movement, isn't he, for the strike of the ball. So the goalkeeper's sometimes decided where he's going. But that stutter brings him off his line. And it should be picked up by the linesman, but there's Ipswich players encroaching in the box as well. So where does it end?
Exactly.
Where does it end? But really, the lino should be looking and should be picking up on that. He's only got 2 jobs: watch the line and watch the goalkeeper, and does the ball cross the line. That's it.
Lee says about stuttery run-ups. They did bring something in where you're not supposed to do that, didn't they? You're not allowed to stop.
Yeah, but he didn't stop. He stuttered. So I think they used to stop properly, didn't they?
Yeah.
And take
John
a
Aldridge used to say that, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about composure for me. I don't think the run-up really that important. It's about composure. And if I asked you to list players for composure 1 to 11, I don't think Kayden Jackson would feature highly on anyone's list of players you think has got composure.
That penalty from Jackson was probably more in the corner than the 2 we conceded the other week from what's his face. Those penalties, he hit them a bit harder. But they were, Walton dived over the first one, and the second one was more in the middle. Had Walton gone the other way, he would have saved the second one. But I forgot his name now. Who was the striker? I can't remember who it was. Who took the penalties? The 2 scored. Bishop. Now maybe he's watching the goalkeeper. So he's watching where the goalkeeper's going. I haven't looked at him that much, but those penalties, in terms of where they were placed, they were no worse than they were no worse than the one from Chaplin either. But I think at 2-0, it's game over. But look one way and just put the ball the other way, or chip it up high down the middle, because the goalkeeper's generally going to dive.
I've often heard it said, Lee, that if you're a professional player, you should never miss from 12 yards. Never. It's almost criminal to miss from 12 yards because you've got the goalie should never get anywhere near it. You're that close to the goal with it being so big, and it's true. Well, hit it hard. You've got no chance.
Well, it's true to a point, isn't it? But there's 28,500 people there. It's not just about the strike. You've got to believe. You've got to believe in what your technique. You've got to believe in your technique, haven't you? And if your technique is, I'm going to run forward, I don't care which way I'm showing the goalkeeper, I'm going to knock it and I'm going to hit it hard to the top corner or whatever. I'm going to trust in my technique to make sure the ball goes there where the goalkeeper can't save it. If you're relying on these half-hearted sort of kicks where you're not putting any power into it, but you're wanting the goalkeeper to go the wrong way, then you shouldn't be taking them because it's guesswork.
Yeah.
If you're stuttering your run up or you're looking to see what the goalkeeper's doing and you adjust your kick to go against the way the goalkeeper's going, then you're clever. So there's a difference. There's a difference there. But
I think that's how Pirlo scored that Panenka kick against us in the Euros that time. He was just watching the keeper. And
But what you've got to do, so as a goalkeeper, I think, and I'm no expert, of course, but the goalkeeper, if he stands big and tall on those type of penalty takers, then there's a double bluff, isn't there? There's the triple bluff. There's the bluff, the double bluff, and then the striker's thinking, "Oh shit, the goalkeeper's not gone down. I don't know which way to put this," and then it becomes a lottery again. But there we go. It's nice to see. Yeah, Burns took his chance well. So I mean, it was good. But as I say, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought the atmosphere was a lot better. It's a bit quiet start of second half, but are you going to get 28,500 singing all the time and stuff? I don't know, but
are you going to buy the black strip? Are you going to buy the black shirt?
I haven't bought the black. My lad's got the black shirt. I haven't bought the black one because black makes you look a bit slimmer apparently. So I might go in for that. But there was a thing on the rugby, wasn't there, about black, and about the colour and how it can. I think it not intimidates, but how it can react. So like the All Blacks do a bit better because they play in black, and England struggle because they play in white. I've seen an article on that, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I thought the black kick looked great. But it's an away kit.
Yes.
It's an away kit for me from now on. I think we need to play in blue and white at Portman Road.
Okay.
And I found it difficult. Sorry, before I go, I found it difficult to see some of the players last night. I don't know what it's like on pitch level. I mean, you might know more, Rich, but from where I was sitting, when we get the ball wide to touch lines, whether it's Davis down the left, particularly as I was looking to my right, so to your stand, Rich, I found it difficult to see players pulling out wide.
I think to start with, it took a little while because you think we were in our away kit and then Derby were in theirs, weren't they? And it's a little bit. You think this isn't right. It was interesting because Ashton, I don't know if you listened, but he was on Talk Sport yesterday, and there wasn't really a reason why we wore the black shirt because they basically admitted they're not going to get any more sales from it. It was just something a little bit different outside the box. And it did split the fans, and it was interesting. They had the banner. What did the banner say, Martin? In the
tradition matters, I think it was.
Yeah, that's it. And I always think that we should play in blue and white at home, and I hope we don't do it again.
Well, you get around that. You just stop labelling home and away kits. You just start labelling them as these are the 3 strips Town were playing this year. Like if you stop labeling it,
I think that is how it actually is.
Well, there we go. We haven't got a home shirt. We've got 3 kits.
Was it 11,000 we sold though? Was it 11? Was there 11,000?
Yeah, we sold over 30,000. The 3 shirts.
So my brother is an Arsenal fan, and he wants it. I don't know why he wants it, but
they're 3 good strips this season. We've been blessed with 3 good strips, haven't we? But look, they did coincide it. We were wondering if not Sheeran. I didn't know Sheeran was on tour in the States, but they did announce that he will be on the shirt for next season as well, didn't they? So there was a little bit of a link up there.
I think whilst we were running the black shirt,
wasn't it? Ed Sheeran might be playing in front of 27,000 fans with Don Goodman in the background giving his opinion on the game. Like there was no chance Ed Sheeran, lookalike or otherwise, was going to be performing at Portman Road last night. I don't know where that came from. I just found that ludicrous.
That's nonsense because we're there for the football, aren't we? We're not there for Ed Sheeran.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully.
Oh, I agree.
But you know, let's not jazz up too much. You know, we're in League One. We need to focus on the game, and we need to get ourselves out of this league and get ourselves competing.
League One teams are in pyro. When did that happen?
Yeah, but the TV cameras are there. I liked it. Shrewd move, smart move. I like that. It gives you a sense of prestige, importance. Oh, look at Town.
It was good. If you listen to obviously we were on Sky yesterday. Talk Sport guys were broadcasting from the 78 bar. They had Goldstein was there and Benty was on, and Matt Holland was on, Ashton was on. It's all good publicity for us.
Oh, absolutely. And then obviously Burley's bar as well.
Yeah.
Lee, before I let you go, man of the match.
Oh, you always do this to me. Morsey. I vote on Richard's part. Morsey. I mean, he got booked really early, and I think what's been said, isn't it? And he managed his game really well. There was one bit in the second half where he stood across the forward running into the box, and I thought, my God, he's going to white man get sent off here, but he didn't. He just used his body. That was fantastic. But you're always on a knife edge after what happened to Edwards. When someone gets booked that early, particularly someone like Morsey, you're always on the edge. But he managed the game. He managed the game really well. And there was a couple of times where, had he not been booked, he would have got booked, if that makes sense. There was a couple of challenges. He used his, he held himself back a couple of times when I think he would have got booked, because he would have just gone in a bit harder, perhaps. But he knew he was booked, so it's a shame we're going to miss him. But that's what the squad's all about. And Ball, just a mention to Ball when he came on. Ball was fantastic when he came on. We're in good. We've talked about this all season about Ball, Morsey and Evans and all this sort of thing. We're in good hands when Ball comes on the pitch. There's no question about it. He looked all right when he came on last night. Yeah. He's decent at this level. There's no question about that. So although we'll miss what we've had, we've got suitable replacements.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Thank you, Lee. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
After yourself. He mentioned Edwards there. There was an incident in the first half where it was either a penalty or a dive, and the referee, gave nothing. And I just thought, because that's the referee's experience. Whereas Tuesday,
from Sky Lounge, Matt. What was it like from the Sky Lounge?
Penalty.
I think I jumped up for a pen on that one, as I would have done in the ground, most likely.
It was a penalty. It was a penalty from my angle and my nan.
you're seeing the inconsistencies. I mean, those Edwards yellows were just laughable on there.
But that was, that's what made me think more of it. I just thought that referee's done something that referee has yet to learn from Tuesday. That it may have been a dive, it may not have been a dive, but you don't have to give a card there. You just a free kick's ample enough, and everyone gets on with the game.
You have to be 100% certain, don't you, if it's a dive, Gov?
Oh, for sure.
Going back to the one Tuesday, how could he 100% say that is a clear dive? Because it wasn't, was it?
It wasn't.
It didn't look. It didn't. In the context of things, it didn't really matter. It's the pizza cup, but if that's in a league game,
you'd be fuming.
15 minutes in, and it's going to stitch you right up, isn't it?
Was it one of his first games out of non-league or something?
He'd done a lot of games in the WSL. I think that was the Saturday. He'd done his first game in League One, man.
Right. Too eager to impress. I'll tell you what annoyed about the referee last night. Annoyed me. Tattoos. I don't like authority figures with tattoos. Got them on anybody's legs. Come on.
I'm not. I don't like the tattoos that much, but I think
not on the referees. Now, Rich, being a professional guy, he would keep his tats covered up, I'm sure, when refereeing. Wouldn't you, Rich?
Yeah, I do.
Long sleeves. Yeah. See? Proper.
Don't worry. Wait for my one on my leg when Kieran McKenna wins the league. Because do you remember me saying that, Guff?
I do vaguely. Now you've mentioned it. I do. Well, before we've been calling in, I'm going to give you one player each. I want your quick, instant thoughts on how they played last night. All right. I'll start with you, Matt. I'll give you the Nation.
Oh, he annoyed me. No, I wasn't impressed. There was one moment, actually, where I think he did a back heel through someone's legs, and I got up and gave that an applause from the sofa. But for the rest of the game, I know, I act like I'm in the ground when I'm at home. And but the rest of the game, I wasn't impressed with him, and he was very jovial in his body language. I felt he was like joking with Walton, and we're all there, we're tense, we're sweating, we're swearing. He's just as cool as a cucumber. But it did get me thinking that maybe Donatian has plateaued a little bit here at Town, and he's not going to get any better than what he is. And is he going to be someone for the future? I mean, I know you've said that a few times, Martin, but I saw that last night. He left me a little bit nervous. No lack of effort. Brilliant. 10 out of 10 for the effort. But for me, I don't know. He just seems to be waning a little bit compared to Wolfenden coming forward and getting 8 out of 10 and all that kind of thing. And that was my take on it anyway.
He got a 7 from Andy Warren in his EADT right up. So would you agree with that? Or would you give him something different?
Probably give him a 6, I think. Maybe a 7 for the little back heel thing. You'd have to go back. It's early doors in the game that he did that down near you, I think, mine. But yeah, I could see a little bit of why people have come on here and said, oh, would he go with us if we got promoted and all that kind of thing.
Reached his ceiling, I think, is what.
Yeah, 100% he has. But no lack of effort. Fantastic to see. 10 out of 10.
And for right now, it's absolutely fine. But for tomorrow, in the championship, who knows? We've got to get there first. Yeah. Rich, I'll give you. Didn't last a 90, but how did you see he's 70, whatever it was? Lee Evans.
I thought he struggled to make an impact. It was a hard game, Gov. There weren't a lot of sort of space given from either team, was it? It was a battle last night, and it was a shame to see him obviously injured. I think we'll miss him for a few games, Matt.
Yeah,
I don't think it's just going to be he's going to miss Port Vale and then he'll be back. It was something with his knee, but then look, we talked ball up in the summer, so now when he comes in, like we say, you got to take your opportunity now because Lee Evans might miss the next 4 or 5 games. We're a bit lucky because into November we've only got 2 league games. Yeah. So if he has to miss a month, so be it. You've got Kamara now. He played obviously 45 at Cambridge. Looks a bit rusty. I think he got some more minutes yesterday, didn't he, Go for the 23?
I believe he did, yeah.
I would expect him to probably. He's going to have to be on the bench at Port Vale on Tuesday. But look, listen, Kieran Dyer, what did he say? Cameron Humphreys is the second best midfielder at this football club behind Sam Morty. So I'm not nervous about him playing on Tuesday. I've seen him play. He is a good player. Now, what he needs to do is go to Port Vale, be the best player on that pitch. And then when Saturday comes at Charlton, he gives McKenna, he gives him another option because obviously Morty will come straight back in after his suspension. It's going to be him and Paul probably for the next few games.
Yeah.
But
it shouldn't be too bad, really, should it? Because you've got Port Vale, Charlton, Bracknell, Cheltenham, Exeter.
Yeah.
Which on paper,
nice little run.
Isn't the most, it's not Wednesday Derby, Plymouth, Peterborough, is it? Is what it could be. But yeah,
Cheltenham looking
sore
good. That,
knee.
Cheltenham looking
No.
decent. Isn't they?
They are. Yeah, sore knee for Lee Evans. Sorry, Matt. Sore knee. We're going to see how it was in the morning, is what McKenna said in his post-match thoughts. Never good, though, is it, a knee? Hopefully just a bone bruise. You know, hopefully he'll just feel
He
it.
jarred it in there's a couple of hard old tackles there, weren't there? Like obviously the one where he followed through. He don't give no quarter in that middle of the pitch, Matt. If he's going to make a tackle, he's 100% flying in, isn't he? And he's going to take knocks in there. I'm excited to see Kamara when he's fit. Yeah, because I think he's a really good player, and I think he'll give you a different dimension come from the middle of that pitch because he can run with the ball and he can get forward. Whereas the two there at the minute, and I know we've spoke about Morsey getting 10 goals. No one ever gets in the box. Rarely they go beyond the striker, do they? Morsey has got a couple of goals where he's got in a couple of tap-ins, but I thought last night, and Mike sent me a message this morning, I totally agree with him. Last night was Morsey at his best, how he should play, breaking up play.
Yeah.
Giving the ball, laying it off. Whereas sometimes I think we're trying to make him into something that at his age, he's never been a prolific goal scorer. He's got 5 goals at Chesterfield, was his highest ever in his career. He's what, 30, 31 now? Yeah. So to think that he's going to be that attacking midfielder, he's going to be your Tommy Miller, your Matt Holland, even your David Norris. He's not going to be that. Let him do his job. And if Kamara gets in the team, I think we'll see how good he is. Because Plymouth fans, Matt and Martin, they absolutely raved about him.
Yeah.
I think it's important you've said that because I think it's really important to know that you can criticise a player while saying he's still very good. You're not saying Morsey's this, that, or the other. You're saying, look, he's a really good player. We're just trying to make him
strengths
something.
And weaknesses, isn't it? Like Lee said, it's his strengths and weaknesses, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because if you'd done a player of the year now, Morsey would probably win it, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd certainly be featured in the first 1 or 2 for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. If Walton was more busier, he'd probably be up there as well. But he's not busy. I mean, that kit he wore last night, he could probably wear it at dinner tonight. Exactly.
Beautiful, pristine. Not a stain on it, was there?
But Paul Warren said after the game for the Derby channel about his own injuries that careers are made off injuries. This is what you've got to look at. Either Kamara or Humphreys. Really, you've got to pick up the ball now and run with it because you've got an injury that's presenting you with an opportunity. Your career could be made off the unfortunate injury to Lee Evans because you've got the chance to play minutes and showcase what you can do and how you can do it. And because otherwise, you weren't going to dislodge either one of those 2 players. I don't think. Really,
they did a really good Sky package with Warren in the lead up to the game last night. He's a really good guy. I mean, I know he's a Norwich fan, but he was talking about family and all that kind of stuff. And
talks sense, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a really good manager. I always thought he'd probably be a good manager for us, but the Norwich connection is probably...
I'd look past that for Paul Warren. I do like Paul Warren.
He's a good.
He loves the bobble hat, doesn't he?
He loves it.
Yeah, but they mentioned that.
Last night he got his bobble hat on. Did you see that when he got the job at Derby, the chief exec took him in the shop to buy some bobble hats. The people who were working in them didn't even know who he was. And he used his staff discount as well.
You got it, wouldn't you? You would do, wouldn't you?
I like him. I think he's a really good guy. He came over before the game. There's a couple of rows back from us. He knew someone and he was having a chat. This was before the kickoff.
Yeah. If you can still see it on demand on Sky at the start before kickoff, watch it because it's a really good little pace.
Absolutely. Right. Colin, welcome in. You may have heard Wednesday have drawn 1-1 with Lincoln. So we're 3 points clear in second. Keep calm, keep cool, because I don't want you getting too excited on me.
I said to Rich, look, that these games like Lincoln and Bristol Rovers and Cheltenham even last year for us, there's not many easy games in this league. We all keep saying that. And like when people say, and let's face it, we all say it, like so-and-so will win there, so-and-so will lose there, you can't really say. Well, you can to a certain extent, but one or two.
Look at my betting slip the other week. Look at all them teams that were, they were nailed on, man. They were, weren't they? When you look at you thought, I had about 3 correct out of 7. You got no chance.
Yeah.
I still think, Gov, Matt and Rich, that, and we can do this, if we put a real mega run together. And I'm not talking about www, all the time. I'm talking about wwd, wwwd. And, good teams can do that over a period.
Colin, I've got some breaking news for you. I've got some breaking news. Ollie's just sent me a picture. He's doing a bit of scouting for us today. I don't know if you can all see that. He's at the Abbey Stadium. He's watching Port Vale.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, like as I was saying, like good sides, and there's, in my opinion, there's only about 2 or possibly 3 really good sides in this league, and obviously we're one of those. If you could put this like 10, 11, 12 game run together, you know, I ain't going to start talking about the great sides I watched, but, you know, in that top flight, you know, we was putting like 28, 30 game runs together, undefeated, because that side was so good at that level. Now, this side is so good for me at this level. I'm not saying we're going to put a 30, look, but we're capable of putting a 10, 12 undefeated
I agree.
game on the spin. Now, I think if we can do that between, say, now and the end of January or whatever, right? We win this league. We win this league. We don't go up. We don't go up first. We don't go up as second. We don't go up as playoff winners. We go up as champions. I think if we can put this 12, 13, 14 undefeated run together,
Getting bigger.
you know.
It's up to 14 games now.
Oh, you know what I mean, my old dear friend. I'll tell you.
I
Yeah.
agree, Gov. And
I mean, all right, I'll put a question to each and every one of you.
Right.
You tell me one side in this league, now that we've got Sheffield Wednesday to come at home, Plymouth to come at home, Portsmouth away. Rich, you know it. It's not difficult. It's not easy. It's not difficult. Each one of you tell me a team that you're not scared. That's not the word. You're a team that you're worried about. A team that you think you'd lose to.
Can I go first?
You can't say one. I wouldn't.
Can I go first?
Yep, go on.
Go on then.
Ipswich Town.
Yeah, good one. That is actually a good answer.
We'll beat ourselves in some games, and with a little bit, maybe overconfidence, maybe.
Can I say one?
Yeah.
Plymouth.
Yeah, go on, go.
They're the only team that have really outplayed us in that last 20 minutes.
And came back from a goal behind against us as well,
Plymouth.
didn't they?
They're really good at the moment. Not saying they'll be long term. There for the long
Kind of,
long race, but
I kind of agree with Colin to an extent that you look at the list of clubs, like you say, Colin, to come to Paul and Rowan, you think, well, you know, we can win these. But no game's ever the same. You can't look at games in isolation. And in fact, you've got other factors. The referee might make a mistake. We might have a goal chalked off like we had against Barnsley. They're the factors. As long as we can stay consistent, they're the factors because we've always got to be battling, haven't we? We might score an own goal or something out, you know, jammy own goal or whatever, you know.
Good point, Matt. And you make a very good point there, Gov. The only thing I would say about that is, like I said before, and I will say again with the, you know, at the risk of repeating myself, Plymouth, like I say, they're a good what I call mid-sized club. They run well. They've got a good manager. They've got a good little squad. But, yeah, they've got a little squad. And like happened to us last night, it will happen to them. They'll get these little niggly injuries. They'll get long-term injuries. They'll get suspensions. And, look, they're not going to not have any of those things. And I was, you three all know this, I was like, praising them really up last year, and they about this time last year, and they were deserving of that. But what I would say is, you know, like they say about a lot of teams at Christmas and just after they come down with the decorations. And do I think they'll finish out the playoff places? Like I said the other day, no, I don't. I think they'll finish in the top 6. Do I think they'll go up first or second? No, I don't. I really don't. I don't think. If they do, fine. Well, fair play to them. But I don't think they're probably equipped to go the whole distance. Yeah, like people keep saying, it's the Grand National, not the Derby, and you know, it's not like 1.5 miles. It's like it's 4.5 miles, so to speak. And do I think Plymouth? Do I think Plymouth can go the 4.5 miles? Not really sure about that. But like I say, I think they'll be there or thereabouts in the season.
What about your mates, Peterborough?
What is the question? Do I think they'll finish the top 6 or what? What's the question actually?
Are they a threat? Are they a threat?
Yeah.
Are they a team you're worried about? Peterborough?
I mean, look, Gov. Unless we I shall make Rich laugh. Unless we take their little man off in January, which I still reckon it's possible, right? All right, they got Clark Harris, they got Mary.
They're not selling Clark Harris. They're not selling Clark Harris any time before the end of the season.
no, well, that's fine, Rich. But look, what I was going to say was the answer to that, Gov. They've got Clark Harris, they've got Marriott, they've got a lot of good footballers at that football club. I'm not. Any Peterborough fans going to watch this. I had me little laugh and joke with you. I'm not stupid enough to sit on here and say blah blah blah. So and so's rubbish. They're not. They've got some decent players. They won't finish. In my opinion, they won't finish within 8 points of us. 8 to 10 points. That's at the end of the season. I think we'll be at least 8 to 10 points clear of them, possibly more. And like I said about Plymouth, and I'll say the same about Peterborough. Look, nobody who I've ever watched, apart from maybe Man United when Bestie used to play for them, is a real one-man side, or can
Posh scored, by the way. Taylor 1-0. Tim Potter up 1-0 against Oxford. Just to
if you look at the fixtures, guys, we've only got 3 home games before Christmas now in the league.
Yeah, I know. 3 home games before you open your Colin bathrobe that you can get from shop.talkingtown.co.uk.
Well, yeah, but yeah. So Tim Potter winning 1-0.
They are winning 1-0. Colin, back to yesterday's game. Who was you've had a chance to think about it. You said last night on the post-game show who it was, but are you still sticking with it? Is Leif Davis still your main man from yesterday? Or would you go somewhere else as you sort of round up the show?
No. Leif Davis, I've had a think about it after listening, and Lee made a lot of good points today as well. Bless his old heart. I think that he was talking about Morsey, and Morsey is a really, really good player for us, and I think he was obviously the equal of Leaf yesterday, but Davis is just growing on me game by game. I've never ever disliked the boy at all, but he's just getting better and better. And I'll give them joint man of the matches yesterday. Leif Davis and Sam Morsey. Quality and
hang on. No, we don't sit on the fence on here, Gov. Come on. You got one or the other. You can't be saying both.
He's been unwell though, Rich. I was giving him a
Colin
pass
can say what he wants
for being unwell. I was giving him a pass.
I'll go with Leif Davis then.
There you go.
Good man.
I'll go with
Colin.
Leif Davis. I'll stay with what I said. And my predictions for next week, I'll go 2-1 Town on Tuesday night.
Like that.
And with a vociferous backing on next Saturday, I'll go
9-0.
1-3.
Oh, come on.
Are we away at Charlton or at home?
Yeah, we're at the Valley.
Away.
We're at the Valley.
Yeah.
I've written it down on my diary. I've got Charlton home here. I'll be at Pullman Road at 2 o'clock on my own. I better change that to an A. Colin, enjoy your afternoon. Put those feet up. Put those trotters up, man. All right? Look after yourself. So good to have him on the platform after midweek's antics. Talking to Port Vale, we're back live Monday, 8:30. Brandon will be joining me along with TJ to offer further reaction to yesterday's win and obviously look ahead, more importantly, to Port Vale, who will play in midfield.
Can you ask Matt that question? What did you say? What does Port Vale give you vibes, Gov?
Oh, hang on.
You said yesterday. Tony Naylor.
Tony Naylor, yes. Tony, what a player. What's a player?
Have you ever been to Vale Park, Rich? Have you been there before?
No, this is my first trip.
Yeah,
we're there.
I think they're the only club in the Football League that's not actually named after a place. It's just called Port Vale. I don't think it's a place where it's Stoke, isn't it? Stoke way, I think.
Yeah, it's Stoke. I'm looking forward to going. I think there's about 2,500. I think we're taking up there on the Tuesday, which is excellent.
Love it. Well done.
One of my memories as a kid was a season highlight video where Tony Mowbray is on the byline and he should put it out of play, but he lumps it forward to their player, who then lumps it diagonally to Tony Naylor, who sticks it in the back of the net.
Tony Naylor, Martin Foyle. Do you remember him? He played for them.
He played for Oxford as well. I am.
Mark Grew played for them, former Town players.
Yeah.
Anglo-Italian Cup. Those were days.
Ellis Harrison plays for them now.
Are we still paying the instalments off on that car?
I don't know.
Who knows?
The Marcus Evans finance plan. It's spread over 400 years.
Have they still got the kid who was at United? James Wilson?
Yeah, he plays up front with Harrison.
Yeah.
He does.
They've had a good start. Matt, Port Vale.
Yeah.
Just touch on what Lee said. He was really, really good, what Lee was saying about sitting there being nervous. And doesn't that show, guys, that now we're so invested in the team and in the club, because we've all been at Portman Road these last few seasons and it felt like a fucking graveyard.
Absolutely.
And it did, didn't it? But we're there now, we care, and we're in it with them. And like Mark Ashton said, what was it? Like together as one. And we are.
We're playing for something. It feels like we're playing for something now, doesn't it? You know, we're actually playing for silverware. Like, as Colin was saying, we can go up as champions. Sonny was getting flashbacks to '92, the last time we lifted the trophy first team trophy at Portman Road 30 years ago. So
come the end of April, May, that's what we want. More seats in the director's box.
Yeah.
Lifting that trophy like when I'm Walkie and them and Stockwell. They're all in there after Brighton and Hove Albion.
The world is our oyster if we can do that. You know, the momentum this club will have after that going into the championship as champions, I'd love to see that. And for all the fans that have been going X amount of years and have seen nothing. So, I agree,
I think Plymouth just scored as well. So enjoy your afternoon. As I were back Monday, I've got Alan Val, the Port Vale podcast, joining us for the second part or some part of the show Monday to preview Port Vale, give us their insight, obviously away guide as well. So pub, parking, etc. So join us Monday with Brandon, TJ, and Alan Val.
To eat when I get up there.
Alan Val, we had to give you the best Nando's in Port Vale. But until then, did you not enjoy your Nando's yesterday then?
I loved it. I loved it. I love a Nando's. It was great. It was absolutely heaving in there. And this is another thing. Look, it's not just a football club that are doing well. It's everything around the town. And if we keep progressing. Now, it's interesting. Before we go, I don't know if you heard Mark Ashton saying about they're building a hotel.
I don't listen. What did he say?
Talk Sport. You know that land that they've bought?
Yeah.
There'll be a hotel going up in there.
Wow. What, next to a hotel?
Well, you see.
The Staples, where Staples is at the moment.
Yeah, down that way. Somewhere. Yeah.
That seems a bit of an overkill, doesn't it? Hotel next to a hotel.
Well, we're going to need it when we're in the Prem. You know, all these visiting fans coming down.
Yeah.
Just build a fucking car park now that we can actually park in, and some roads that take them flower beds out. Get rid of them flower beds, Gov. I mean, what is going on?
Don't, mate. Although they, in a way they're good because they make people stay for the post-game show because they can't get out of the car park. But in another way, in trying to be more environmentally friendly, you're just choking the town centre for an hour and a half because no one can move anywhere. Oh, it's a joke. Suffolk Coast Council, whatever bloody people are called. Don't start me. I've left politics behind, Rich. I've left it behind.
Anyway, no contact us.
No, we've lasted longer than the last Prime Minister. Here's the cruncher, Richard Moss. This is Media Mogul. I follow season ticket ambassador Matthew Phillips.
Are you in a new chair? Are you a new chairperson? Have you taken over from Mike Brown?
Absolutely. Listen, we'll probably have a new Prime Minister by the time you go on air Monday, potentially.
Yeah.
Is it Monday?
I won't ask you for who you think it's going to be, because by the time we go on air, it'll probably do something different anyway. So that's how it works.
This country's had more Prime Ministers this year than Watford.
It's that Debenhams revolving door, isn't it? One goes in and another one comes out, and it just goes on and on. But hit subscribe, hit the join button. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Monday, 8:30. Upper Town.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.